Welcome back to our channel on this beautiful day. We are thrilled to bring you the latest, most intense updates from Genoa City. Grab a comfortable seat as we dive deep into the treacherous waters of loyalty, betrayal, and vengeance that are about to forever change the landscape of our favorite families. Let us explore the unfolding drama together. Genoa City is a landscape defined by its beautiful illusions, where pristine mansions hide the most venomous betrayals. At the center of this turbulent world stands the Newman dynasty, an empire built on ruthless manipulation and the absolute authority of its patriarch. Yet, beneath the polished surface of corporate dominance and forced family unity, a catastrophic storm is quietly gathering momentum. The tectonic plates of power are shifting in the shadows, driven by years of unhealed trauma and a desperate thirst for retribution. The illusion of impenetrable strength surrounding the Newman Empire is fracturing rapidly. The architects of its potential downfall are not external enemies, but the very men who have suffered most under its oppressive shadow. Kyle Abbott walks the streets of Genoa City carrying a heavy burden of historical trauma, his mind entirely consumed by an insatiable hunger for vengeance against Victor Newman. The scars inflicted upon the Abbott family run deep, carved by decades of Victor's relentless corporate warfare and the recent orchestration of violence that nearly cost Jack Abbott his life. While the rest of his family has chosen the fragile path of peace, Kyle refuses to lay down his weapons. He views their forgiveness as a dangerous weakness. Driven by a dark need to balance the scales, Kyle has crossed dangerous moral boundaries, weaponizing his charm to infiltrate the Newman inner circle and exploiting Victoria to extract classified corporate secrets. In a parallel descent into darkness, Adam Newman finds himself suffocating under the crushing weight of his father's perpetual distrust and manipulative control. Despite his desperate attempts to prove his loyalty and the massive personal sacrifices he has made, Adam remains perpetually marginalized. The recent fallout from the secret Newman media acquisition has pushed his simmering resentment to a boiling point. Victor's relentless interrogations and refusal to grant Adam executive autonomy have shattered the last remnants of Adam's familial devotion. He realizes with chilling clarity that Victor will never willingly relinquish the reins of power. The desire to simply exist within the Newman Empire has evaporated entirely. The catalyst for the ultimate betrayal occurs in a moment of unguarded vulnerability, a rare instance where the impenetrable walls of the Newman facade briefly crumble. Kyle Abbott, navigating the corridors of power with his newly acquired stealth, inadvertently overhears a private, explosive outburst from Adam Newman. Hidden in the shadows, Kyle listens intently as Adam unleashes years of repressed fury, his voice trembling with the sheer magnitude of his frustration over Victor's tyrannical grip. Adam speaks of the constant humiliation and the agonizing reality of being a perpetual pawn. In that fleeting, charged moment, Kyle does not see a bitter rival. He sees a mirror reflecting his own profound sense of injustice. A clandestine meeting is swiftly arranged, far from the prying eyes of Victor's extensive surveillance network and the judgmental gazes of their respective families. The atmosphere in the dimly lit, secluded venue is thick with palpable tension, a heavy silence hanging between two men who have spent their entire lives on opposite sides of a bitter, generational war. When Kyle and Adam finally sit across from one another, the historical animosity that has defined the Abbott-Newman rivalry is momentarily suspended, replaced by the cold, undeniable logic of mutual benefit. They circle each other with cautious precision, testing the waters of this dangerous new dynamic, realizing they share a singular, omnipotent enemy. As the parameters of their covert alliance take shape, a chilling consensus emerges from the shadows of their shared ambition. Their ultimate objective is not the blind, chaotic destruction of Newman Enterprises, but rather a calculated, surgical coup d'etat designed to overthrow Victor's absolute power and reshape the corporate behemoth according to their own vision. Kyle brings the highly sensitive internal documents he has ruthlessly extracted from a vulnerable Victoria, providing the essential roadmap to Victor's hidden vulnerabilities. Adam offers his intimate knowledge of the company's structural weaknesses. Together, they form a terrifyingly formidable syndicate, meticulously outlining a strategy to dismantle Victor's authority. While the seeds of his corporate destruction are being sown in the darkest corners of the city, Victor Newman remains completely oblivious, entirely focused on solidifying the grand illusion of his personal empire. In a sweeping, majestic gesture designed to project absolute dominance and unwavering stability, Victor orchestrates a breathtakingly romantic proposal to Nikki Newman. Surrounded by the opulent splendor of the Newman Ranch, a fortress that has weathered countless storms, Victor asks his wife to renew their sacred vows. It is a calculated display of enduring love, a deliberate attempt to anchor his family amidst the swirling chaos of Genoa City, genuinely believing that their bond is the ultimate foundation of his legacy. Nikki Newman accepts the proposal with a radiant, perfectly practiced smile, her voice steady as she declares that she would marry him 1,000 times over. Yet, beneath the surface of her joyous acceptance lies a terrifying, agonizing psychological war. Nikki is harboring a dark, explosive secret, a truth that threatens to shatter the very vows she is so willingly preparing to renew. Behind her loving gaze, she is actively investigating Victor's sinister involvement in the brutal stabbing of Jack Abbott and the psychological torture of Diane Jenkins. The cognitive dissonance of pledging eternal loyalty to a man she suspects of orchestrating horrific acts of violence is slowly tearing her apart from the inside out. The day of the vow renewal arrives, transforming the Newman Ranch into a breathtaking tableau of elegance and forced family unity. The intimate gathering includes the most vital members of the inner circle: Abby Winters, Claire Newman, Victoria Newman, and the esteemed Michael Baldwin. The air is thick with the scent of expensive floral arrangements and the heavy, unspoken tension of hidden betrayals. Victoria stands by with a hollow enthusiasm, her mind burdened by the treasonous secrets she has leaked to Kyle Abbott and the devastating estrangement from her daughter, Claire. Abby Winters, seeking a brief respite from the violent collapse of her own marriage, forces a supportive smile during this fragile masquerade. Just as the officiant prepares to begin the sacred proceedings, the heavy oak doors of the ranch swing open, and a collective gasp ripples through the intimate crowd. Standing in the threshold is Nick Newman, his sudden, shocking presence sending a jolt of pure adrenaline through the room. The physical toll of his severe, escalating addiction is painfully evident in the hollowed contours of his face, the erratic tremor in his hands, and the dark, haunted exhaustion shadowing his eyes. His appearance is a jarring, violent disruption to the pristine elegance of the ceremony, a stark manifestation of the rot festering beneath the Newman family's polished exterior, leaving the room in a stunned, breathless silence. Nick's presence at the ceremony is not a triumphant return, but rather the devastating result of a reckless, desperate escape from his rehabilitation facility. In the dark, lonely hours of his confinement, Nick's mind had spiraled into a toxic vortex of rationalization and despair. He had convinced himself that inpatient treatment was a catastrophic mistake, a claustrophobic prison that only amplified his profound sense of failure and isolation. The structured environment felt like a suffocating weight, driving him to break free and plunge back into the dangerous, unpredictable underbelly of Genoa City. He stands among his impeccably dressed family, feeling like a complete alien, entirely disconnected from their celebrations. The reaction to Nick's arrival is a complex tapestry of silent panic, deep sorrow, and profound helplessness. Victoria's breath catches in her throat, her heart breaking at the sight of her brother's rapid deterioration, yet she is entirely paralyzed by her own suffocating guilt and inability to save him. Victor's stoic facade wavers for a fraction of a second, a flash of genuine, paternal terror crossing his features before being quickly masked by his customary, authoritative control. Nikki's eyes well with tears, the joyous occasion instantly overshadowed by the agonizing reality of her son's suffering. Despite the overwhelming concern radiating from his family, Nick remains emotionally unreachable and deeply isolated. As Victor finally leans in to kiss his bride, sealing their renewed commitment and basking in the illusion of his absolute, unshakable power, the narrative of Genoa City fractures into two distinct, terrifying realities. In the bright, opulent living room of the Newman Ranch, a king celebrates his reign, surrounded by a family that is secretly crumbling under the weight of his tyranny. But far away from the warmth of the celebration, in the cold, unforgiving shadows of the city, the true future of the Newman Empire is being written in blood and betrayal. Kyle Abbott and Adam Newman finalize the intricate details of their treasonous pact, their combined intellect forming a weapon capable of piercing Victor's armor. The ceremony concludes with polite applause, but the feeling of impending doom is inescapable. Before anyone can reach out to offer comfort or stage an intervention, Nick Newman quietly slips away from the gathering, retreating back into the dangerous, intoxicating darkness of the city's streets, driven by a compulsion he can no longer control. He walks away from the only people who can save him, heading straight toward a terrifying unknown that threatens to claim his life. Meanwhile, Victor Newman stands tall, a satisfied smile playing on his lips, entirely oblivious to the catastrophic storm that is about to make landfall. The empire is burning, and the next move will undoubtedly leave Genoa City in absolute ruins.